But I want to start today with India Today magazine's exclusive cover story this week. It dwells on an issue which has raised a lot of eyebrows. Remember last Sunday, the Chief Justice of India, T.S. Thakur, wept openly in the presence of the Prime Minister at a meeting over the Chief Justices of the country. The tears explained the CJI's helplessness. Today we bring you a sneak peek at a story that will tell you just why Mr. Thakur was reduced to tears.
India Today magazine has been synonymous with credible journalism for the last 4 decades, setting the news agenda for all other news publications across the country. I'm going to take you behind the scenes and show you what really goes into making the cover story of India Today magazine. We're going to go and speak to Raj Chengappa, who's the group editorial director. Hi, sir.
Hi, Sami.
What's on the cover of this week's India Today magazine?
Well, we've got the Chief Justice of India, and this was stunning, actually. I mean, it's rare to see someone as eminent as him and as important as him weep in public. And so we went into this question, what makes him cry?
See, we had two options only because we got a lot of, I really like this one, where I got multiple pictures we are catching and we're getting all the emotions around it. Then we saw this and we tried to blow it up.
You know, a single focus. It's a classic India Today cover with this, you know, and with a startling headline, what makes him cry.
What are the other factors that made you decide that this would be your cover story this week?
Well, actually, Damayanti Datta put it all together, and I think we should speak to her.
Can you share some of the startling facts that you came across while looking at this data that you've collated for the story?
Well, you know, they had studied 24 high courts. And the startling thing was that Patna High Court had so many cases pending that if a judge actually listened to them in one day, he would have exactly 2 minutes per case.
Wow.
That's impossible to dispense justice. Yeah, let's talk to Damayanti. She put it all together, and she'll have more views on why we put this on the cover.
Damayanti, your story is in the cover of India Today magazine. Give us the big highlights.
The big highlights are A, that we thought in the difficult relationship between the judiciary and the government, we had seen the end to it last year. But clearly the battle is not over. And it was extremely shocking to see the Chief Justice of India so distressed and making an appeal to the Prime Minister on a public platform. And what we have are extremely, startling stats about the state of the judiciary, that they get 2.5 minutes on an average, to hear a case, 5 minutes to...
so 2 minutes literally to dispense justice?
Yes, and 5 minutes to take a decision. And there are 30 million cases pending, and on an average a judge gets to hear 70 cases a day.
The shortfall of judges, that cover story which will create a stir, and I want to give you the real hard details that are coming out. The Supreme Court approved strength is 31, the current strength is 25, vacancies are 6. High Court approved strength 1056, current strength is 592, vacancies are 464. Subordinate courts approved strength 20,538, current strength 15,360, vacancies are 4,998. And I'm going to put some more shocking details in a moment. Because joining me now is Justice Mukul Mudgal, former judge of the Delhi High Court, and Soli Sorabji, former Attorney General of India, to react to that India Today cover story. Sir, in this cover story, Mr. Sorabji, I have shocking details wherein a judge number of cases that judges hear in a day in a high court can range from 20 to 150. 70 hearings a day on an average that judges preside over, and with every passing year the number of cases are mounting. How do you respond to this cover story that is giving the hard facts that might have underlined the fact that the Chief Justice was reduced to tears in front of the Prime Minister?
Well, the obvious thing is there's a complete lack of number of judges in comparison to the population. the judge population ratio in India is dismal. You can't expect judges to really cases completed. So first thing you require is please increase the strength of judges. Appoint judges who can deal with the matters. And Radip is not merely appointing judges, it's not a numerical aspect. Please appoint judges who are competent. Appoint persons who are competent. Because a matter which should take only 1 hour, before an experienced, competent judge would take 2 days, for one's not so experienced.
Right.
So it's really not one single factor. Number of factors have to be taken into account. And let me tell you, I'm sorry to say, arrears are also owing to the attitude of some members of my legal profession.
That's an
There are
important
some
point you're
lawyers
making.
who are known as adjournment lawyers.
You're saying there are
Some
adjournment
lawyers
lawyers.
are known as adjournment lawyers.
You're making a serious point. You're
are
saying that
known
there
as
are
adjournment
lawyers who
lawyers
are
in Delhi High
adjournment
Court.
lawyers who are deliberately having these
Yeah.
cases delayed from time to time. Let me just take that to Mukul Mudgal.
Because
Mukul Mudgal, this survey is showing, sir, just a minute. Our survey is showing 62% said judges are slow, 27% said litigants don't turn up, 8% said other parties are influencing the judges, and only 10% said there is no delay. As per the survey, 62% are saying judges are slow. Are judges responsible for this? I am now told tomorrow, in a break, judges are actually going to sit on a weekend. They are going to sit on a Saturday. Many would say they should sit through the summer. Why do you need such a long summer holiday?
Right. I'll start with the holidays first.
Yes.
Judges who are hearing 70 cases a day, and please don't think our work hours end at 4 o'clock. We have to read. If you want to deal with 70 cases, you have to read them at home and spend considerable amount of time, 1 to 2 hours, reading them, so that you can do some sort of a justice to the cases which come before you. Secondly, I would like to say the government's role is important. Apart from appointing judges, 60% of the litigation is from the government. And if the government were to devise a method where needless cases, worthless cases are rooted out, things will improve very much. Another thing, today no bureaucrat is prepared to take a decision to say that, sorry, this case is worthless, we won't pursue it. They are affairs of vigilance. Each ministry must have an independent body advising them which cases to take up. I think this will go a long way.
So I come back to the time spent in court. This exclusive report is also showing 3 years the average pendency of any case in our 21 high courts, 6 years the average pendency of any case in our subordinated courts, 13 years the average time a litigant whose case goes to the Supreme Court is likely to spend. Soli Sorabji, I gave one suggestion: let us cut short the holidays. This is a colonial legacy. Let us cut short the holidays, maybe have some system wherein maybe on Saturdays a few judges sit. Do you believe these are solutions, or am I only looking at short-term solutions here?
No, may not be a permanent solution, but it's a good move. Actually, let me tell you, some time back judges said they'll sit in vacation, sacrifice the holidays, and take up cases, especially pending criminal appeals. But the bar wasn't prepared to agree to that. Radip, the question is, how do you look at it? It has to be done. All the players have to cooperate, the judges, the lawyers, and of course the government plus sanction sufficient number of judges to deal with the cases. I don't understand. As Mukul Rati said, the common misconception is, oh, judges work from 10:30 to 4:30. My God, the work they do at home, the files they have to read through, because they don't do this, then the next day it takes more time to deal with the cases.
Sir,
so you have say holiday courts, you may say holiday courts. Will the bar agree? Will the bar cooperate? I don't know.
So
with the adjournment laws,
so that's a very sad. So coming from the senior most member of the bar, for you to say today that you believe will the bar cooperate with the judges is itself an indictment perhaps of where we have reached. Ye kahan aa gaye hum? Final word to you, Mukul Mudgal, Justice Mudgal. Is this going to get worse before it gets better?
No, I think it is time for the court to have financial control of its matters, so that they can appoint judges, recommended judges themselves, and of course judge strength is a very important thing. The Chief Justice was emotionally moved because of the shortage, where all the blame comes on the judiciary and you don't see the other side of it. So I think, yes, it can be improved. Judges also have to cooperate, bar has to cooperate, and of course the government has to cooperate in reducing worthless litigation.
Right.
At least 50% of the cases of the government do not deserve to be entertained.
50% of the cases of the government, you say, do not deserve to be entertained. I appreciate two senior jurists joining me on a day when an India Today cover story has hit the stand that you must read. Why did the Chief Justice cry? What's gone wrong with our judiciary?
Bhumata Brigade's Tripti Desai, there's breaking news just coming in. She's been whisked away from Dargah Haji Ali. She wanted to enter the Dargah. She wasn't permitted to enter the Dargah. These are pictures of protest.
India, and Shivan was excited about it. So yeah, here's Shivan with his review of the Huawei watch.
You make a smartwatch look like an analog watch and you're sure to